You walk into the store to buy a new TV, maybe your old one finally gave out, or you just want something bigger for the living room. Simple enough, right? But then you're staring at 50 different boxes, and every single one is screaming about features you've never heard of. The salesperson swoops in, firing off terms like HDR10 Plus and Dolby Vision IQ, and all you're thinking is, I just want to watch the news without taking a computer class first. Here's what nobody tells you. Some of these TVs are designed to impress you on the shelf, not to work well in your living room. Once you get them home, the problems start. Menus that make no sense. Volume so weak you can barely hear dialogue. Software that crashes right in the middle of your favorite program. Today, we're telling you exactly which 5 TV brands to avoid in 2025, ranked from mildly annoying to downright infuriating. Let's get started with number 5. At number 5, we've got TCL. You've probably seen these at Walmart or Target, stacked up with big yellow tags that say 4K Smart TV and a price that seems almost too good to pass up. TCL has earned a reputation for delivering decent picture quality without breaking the bank, and on paper, that sounds perfect. But here's the catch. Most of their newer models come loaded with something called Google TV, and that's where the trouble begins. Google TV is an operating system, basically the software that controls everything you see on screen. It's designed to be modern and feature-rich, which sounds great until you actually try to use it. The home screen is cluttered with recommendations you didn't ask for, apps you'll never open, and settings buried 3 menus deep. Want to adjust the picture? Good luck finding it without clicking through a dozen tiles. Need to reconnect to Wi-Fi? Hope you've got patience, because the interface lags and stutters, especially on the lower-priced models. And then there's the remote. Tiny buttons, cramped layout. Labels printed in font so small you need a magnifying glass to read them. For anyone with arthritis or vision challenges, it's a daily struggle. You're fumbling in the dark just to pause a show or turn up the volume. The real kicker? After a few months, many users report that their TCL slows down even more. Software updates are supposed to improve things, but they often make boot up times longer and cause random disconnections from the internet. You'll find yourself restarting the TV just to get it working again. Think of it like buying a car with a great engine, but every button and lever is labeled in a language you don't speak. Sure, it'll get you where you need to go, but the journey is exhausting. If you're comfortable with technology and don't mind tinkering, TCL might work for you. But if you want a TV that just turns on and works without a learning curve, keep walking. Coming in at number 4 is Insignia. This is Amazon's house brand, and you'll see these TVs front and center at Best Buy, often on sale. The price is tempting, the box promises smart features, and it comes with Amazon's Fire TV built right in. Sounds convenient, right? It is until you turn it on and realize the entire home screen is one giant advertisement. Before you can even get to Netflix or your cable box, you're greeted with rows and rows of promoted content. Watch this new show. Try this app. Subscribe to this service. It's not subtle. It's aggressive. And it's designed to keep you clicking on things Amazon wants you to see, not the things you actually came to watch. For someone who just wants to flip to their local news or pull up a streaming app, it's like walking through a mall where every store has someone blocking your path with a flyer. The interface itself is sluggish. Scrolling through menus takes longer than it should. Apps take forever to load. And if you accidentally click on one of those ads, good luck getting back to where you started without hitting the back button 5 times. The sound quality on most Insignia models is underwhelming too. Dialogue gets muddled, especially during action scenes or when multiple people are talking. You'll end up cranking the volume way up or turning on subtitles just to follow along. Is it the worst TV you could buy? No, but it's cheap for a reason. It's fine for a guest bedroom or a basement where you rarely watch, but as your main TV, the one you use every single day, it'll wear on you fast. You'll spend more time navigating ads than enjoying your shows. Landing at number 3, we have Philips. This used to be a name you could trust. They've been making electronics for decades, and their TVs still look sharp in the store. But in recent years, they've made a mess of their software, and that's where the problems start. Here's the issue. Philips can't seem to settle on one operating system. Some of their models run Google TV, others use something called Titan OS, and every time they release a firmware update, it feels like they're experimenting on their customers. Menus change overnight. Features you were used to disappear. New bugs pop up that weren't there before. One of the most common complaints? Audio sync issues. You'll be watching a movie, and the voices don't match the actor's lips. It's off by just a second or two, but it's enough to drive you nuts. Some users report that updates fix it temporarily, only for the problem to come back a few weeks later. Then there are the update failures. You'll get a notification that new software is available, you click install, and halfway through, it freezes. Or worse, it installs but breaks something else like your Wi-Fi connection or your favorite streaming app. And when you call customer support, they tell you to do a factory reset, which means setting everything up from scratch all over again. It's like having a light switch that works perfectly fine until someone decides to move it to a different wall every few weeks. You never know what to expect, and that's exhausting when all you want is consistency. The picture quality on Philips TVs is generally fine. But when the software is this unreliable, it doesn't matter how good the screen looks. You'll spend more time troubleshooting than watching. At number 2, we're talking about Hisense. This is a brand that's been climbing the sales charts, especially in big box stores. They make TVs that look expensive, bright screens, slim bezels, lots of fancy features listed on the box. And the price is usually lower than brands like Samsung or LG, so it feels like you're getting a steal. But once you live with one for a few months, the cracks start to show. The biggest issue? Unpredictability. One day, everything works fine. The next day, the menu starts lagging so badly you can barely navigate. Or the TV randomly reboots itself in the middle of a show. Or the sound goes haywire either way, too quiet or suddenly blasting at full volume with no warning. These aren't isolated incidents. There are ongoing class action lawsuits involving Hisense TVs, with customers reporting mainboard failures and software glitches that the company refuses to fix under warranty. Some users say their TVs completely bricked after a routine update, turning into expensive paperweights overnight. Even when the TV is working, the experience isn't smooth. Apps take forever to launch. The remote is slow to respond. And if you're trying to adjust picture settings or turn on closed captions, expect to dig through multiple menus that don't always make sense. For seniors who just want a reliable TV that turns on when you press the button and plays your shows without drama, Hisense is a gamble you shouldn't take. It doesn't matter how good the specs look on paper if the thing freezes up every other week. And that brings us to number 1, Vizio. The name has been around for years and it sounds trustworthy enough. You'll find their TVs at Walmart, Costco, Target, pretty much everywhere. The prices are competitive, the screens look decent in the store, and the marketing makes them sound like a smart choice. But once you get one home and start using it every day, you'll quickly understand why this brand tops our list. The first thing you'll notice is how slow everything is. You press the power button, and it takes what feels like forever for the TV to wake up. You try to open an app, and you're left staring at a loading screen. You want to change the input from cable to your DVD player, and the menu crawls along like it's thinking really hard about whether it wants to cooperate. The interface called SmartCast is a mess. It's not intuitive, it's not user-friendly, and it's definitely not designed with older users in mind. Buttons are hard to find, settings are scattered across different menus, and just when you think you've figured out where something is, an update comes along and moves everything around again. Speaking of updates, they're a nightmare. Vizio pushes out software changes regularly, but instead of making things better, they often break features that were working just fine. Your Wi-Fi connection drops. Apps stop loading. The TV freezes mid-show and you have to unplug it to get it working again. Thousands of online reviews mention these exact problems, and customer service rarely offers real solutions. Then there's the sound. Most Vizio TVs have weak, built-in speakers that make dialogue hard to hear. You'll find yourself constantly adjusting the volume, turning it way up just to catch what people are saying, then scrambling to turn it back down when a commercial comes on at full blast. For anyone with hearing aids or audio sensitivity, it's a constant battle. And the remote? Cheap plastic, unresponsive buttons, and a layout that seems designed to confuse you. You'll press a button and nothing happens, press it again, and suddenly the TV does 3 things at once. It's like waiting in a line at the DMV just to change the channel. Every task that should take 2 seconds becomes a 5-minute ordeal. You didn't buy a TV to troubleshoot it, you bought it to relax and enjoy your programs. But with Vizio, you're lucky if you get through an evening without something going wrong. For seniors especially, this brand is a source of constant frustration. Budget price, premium headache. That's why it's our clear number 1 to avoid in 2025. Let's recap what we've covered. TCL buries you in confusing menus and tiny remote buttons. Insignia bombards you with ads before you can even watch your shows. Philips keeps changing its software and breaking things with every update. Hisense looks great, but crashes and glitches constantly. And Vizio takes forever to do anything while delivering weak sound and a clunky interface. If you're shopping for a TV in 2025, here's what to focus on instead. Look for brands with simple, clean interfaces, Roku TV, and LGs. WebOS are both solid choices. Make sure the remote has big, clearly labeled buttons that are easy to see and press. Test the closed captions and volume in the store before you buy, if possible. And avoid any TV that forces you through endless logins or long firmware updates out of the box. Remember, smart doesn't always mean better. Sometimes the simplest option is the one that'll make your life easier. You deserve a TV that works when you want it to, without turning every evening into a tech support session. Now I want to hear from you. Which TV brand gave you the most trouble? Drop it in the comments so we can warn others. And if this video helped you dodge a mistake, hit that subscribe button because our next video covers the top 5 TVs every senior should actually buy in 2025. See you there.